some migrant stories and the issues that have come out of the one-off residence visa 2021. My name is Anu Khaloti. I am from Migrant Workers Association. Right now we are live again from YouTube channel Migrant Workers Association and our Facebook page as well. So today I have lots of people with me. I have Rachel Swan, and then I have lots of migrant workers with me, people who have been excluded from this new residence visa that was announced 30th of September. And what we aim to do today is you will hear more from the friends who are joining me here rather than myself or Rachel, because we were discussing earlier, Rachel and I, we get to speak quite a lot on behalf of migrants who are adversely impacted. So it's about time we let those people share their own stories and express their feelings and talk about their immigration journey and all the contributions they've made as migrants, as valuable members of society here in Aotearoa, and their concerns. And going forward, what is it that we want to see from this government, and how long should these people have to wait? It's been a few years, a decade in some cases. So I'm not going to take too much more time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to welcome Rachel and ask her to introduce this group of people that basically, we are all members of this newly formed Facebook group. So I'll let Rachel introduce that to you all. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Anu. Just want to say thank you again for making this platform available to everybody to raise the voice for those who have been excluded from this one-off residency visa, and also to acknowledge all the work that you've been doing, over many years to get to where we are now and to get us into a position where we are able to fight for these rights. So thank you very much for that and allowing us to use your platform to raise these issues.
You're welcome.
So like Anu said, we've got a number of speakers today from the Inclusive Migrant 2021 Resident Visa Impacted Facebook group here today. And I just want to say thank you to you guys for joining and for raising your voice to tell your stories, and for all the support for the various petitions that are being submitted in order to further our cause. I won't take up too much more of your time because I think most people are sick of the sound of my voice by now. So thank you to everybody that is also watching on the live stream and YouTube groups. And I will hand back over to Anu to MC and to introduce our speakers. But just a final point from me to please keep raising your voice. It's the most powerful tool that we have. Keep signing and sharing the petitions and gaining support from your colleagues and fellow students that are Kiwis, because they're also a powerful voice that we need to join this movement. So thank you very much, Anu, and I will leave you to have these discussions with our impacted migrants. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Rachel. So I may actually start with Ronit, if you don't mind, Ronit. I know you've been communicating with me quite a lot back and forth on messages. So yeah, tell us when you came to New Zealand and how you came here and your journey, the different visas and where you are now.
First of all, I would like to thank you for scheduling this Zoom, Anu and Rachel, and calling me to share my story. I came to New Zealand in February 2017 for my graduate diploma in software and web development level 7 studies. After that, I worked for about 3.5 years with one of the reputed company in New Zealand as an IT technician. In starting, they were really willing to help me for my further visa and for residency. But last year in September, when they changed the rule for essential skill visa, they set up the pay rate for $25.50 for essential visa, then my company really denied to help me because they said it's very high pay rate, so they cannot help me in that way. So then I had just left with 6 months. So I so then I decided to go for the another study. So I took graduate diploma in early childhood sector because we all know like we have a huge shortage of teachers in New Zealand for early childhood. So I choose for level 7 study again. So but I was like really disappointed when they excluded the student visas from one of resident policy. So that's my story, which one I can say like from long time I'm waiting for this thing, but now we are excluded, and I hope so they will listen us. And because like me, there are a lot of people who are not eligible, but they worked very hard from years. Like some people are on partner on student visas, and like some are on, you can say, guardian visas, and some on
Mm.
second time student holders. So my main question is like my main thing is like they have to give us certainty as well, because they are talking about certainty from starting.
Mm.
But for us there is no certainty, because we don't know like when they are going to open SMC category. We don't know what will be the rules. We don't know. They like they are saying like we are going to open in next July, but we all know there is not a 100% surety about
Mm.
that thing. Because today also I was listening the parliament thing.
Mhm.
So in that also he was clearly said like uh, they cannot include us because we have to find another certain ways or alternative ways. But there is no alternative because ways, because everything is closed at this moment.
Yeah.
So they have to at least open it, right? And that's the thing. Because why we are worried, because we also put our money, our time, our
Mm.
hard work. And even we are also helping during the study. We are working as well, and we are doing like we are helping them to running their country in the COVID pandemic. Like even as a teacher, I'm working in level 3 and level 4 as
Mm.
well sometime.
Mm.
And even we don't have teachers in my center. My
Yes.
owner, the center owner, she told me to go for the VOC, for where I can apply for VOC for
Mhm.
full time opportunity. So I'm still waiting for level 2, because we have to apply with the paper based
Mhm.
application,
Mm.
but still I cannot send my application to the immigration.
Mm.
So that's why I'm saying like it's very hard to stay
Yeah.
on this visa for a long period, because we also want a certainty in our life. So that's my main question, like we have at least give us a certainty and
Mm.
include us in this one of resident visa.
Absolutely. And I
That's
think it
my
was only earlier. Thank you for that, Ronit. Thank you for sharing that. I think it was earlier this week
no.
that in the news I heard that there is a shortage of early childhood teachers. So it kind of makes sense that we hold on to people like yourself. So we
and
need young ones to be educated properly.
and even at this moment a lot of centers are closing because of
Hmm.
shortage of teachers,
Yeah.
because they don't have teachers and pay rate as well.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Yeah, it's
still
it's it's
that's the
absurd.
thing.
Yeah, it's crazy not to include people like yourself in this new residence visa.
Yeah,
So, like Rachel said, yeah, we'll keep going. We'll keep signing those petitions and keep raising our voices. So, thank you very much. And
no problem.
let me just have a look. Right. Who else? Chai Shah, would you like to share next?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. How are you? Great. First thing, before starting, I just want to say thank you first to Rachel, who actually got everyone together. And special thank you to Anu as well, who have been fighting for migrants for a very long time. And she has always been with migrants. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.
So before I go, yeah. So I've been in New Zealand. So first time I came in New Zealand in Feb 2010. That is
Wow.
11 years and 8 months now. I've been in this country. So definitely New Zealand is my home. And in this 11 years and 8 months, I've only been back to my country 3 times. Exactly
Gosh.
3 times for 1 month. So that is like you can say 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
Only it there's a reason as well. Before COVID, when there was a lot of change of rules and everything, first the essential skills work visa. So I was on essential skills work visa for past I think 8 years. I would say last year only I lost my job. There were a lot of rules changing, and you only used to get 1 year of essential skills.
That's
This
right.
three came later on,
Yeah. Yeah.
till 2018 only 1 year rule was there, out of which it takes 2 months
Mm-hmm.
to process the files.
Yes.
So that means you can say only 8 months you have in your hand, that every eight
Yeah.
months you have to apply for the
Mm.
your visas,
Yeah.
which was really difficult. And trust me, at that time, managers used to exploit in different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you go to ask for visa, they play with you so much, like,
Mm-hmm.
just trust me, like, you have to do this, you have to do this in order to get the visa. So that was also one kind of exploitation,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm already showing you my work from past 1 year, but still at the time of visa, you want to see my performance, neither you would have not kept me. But
Yeah.
that was a scenario how the businesses can get the work out.
Yeah.
But that was before COVID. And now in February 2020, I got married. I was back in India, got married. We came, luckily before COVID, we actually came over here. Like, my wife was on a visitor's visa,
Right.
and I became my essential skills. I was working for a finance company.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, finance company goes down
Yes.
first at the time of recession or anything happens. So pandemic started in July 2020. I lost my job.
Okay.
I was an essential, so I had no option. I applied for a lot of jobs, but at that time, everyone did not know the certainty. They didn't want it to, because they were taking a lot of time. The offices were closed as well, and some offices were closed. So no employer wanted to take that risk, because they also didn't know what business was going on. And when you call the immigration, they only have two answers. You can't be on essential skills for a long time. You have to go on a visitor's visa, or you have to go on a student visa. Only two options were there. Definitely, I would say a lot of people would consider student visa.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, because you don't want to just sit at home and do nothing and keep looking for a job, like, But at that time, because I got married, so I and my wife were sitting one night and we were just thinking what to do. So my wife actually, she actually within 2 months got to know the scenario of the immigration, because she learned everything. She told, it's better for me to go on a student visa. You can go on a partnership visa, because you have been here for 11 years. Your chances of good job getting is much better, like, than rather than me, like, because the salary, you have to get $27. The SMC was closed, but definitely we were targeting for the skill job and everything. And having an open visa is much better to having a closed visa,
Exactly.
comparatively. But actually that worked, because I started working in healthcare.
Right.
In January, I got a job in healthcare.
Okay.
Like, and that was coming as a skill job.
Mm-hmm.
And recently also my talks were going on. My salary was going to increase as well to about 27.
Right.
Everything was like, there. I was pretty happy. Things are going better. But of course, 2021 resident visa came, things changed. I'm on a partnership visa. And they are saying these people who have lived here for 3 years are having a long-term connection with New Zealand.
Right.
I just want to ask the question, being 11 years, 8 months was nothing, was not a long-term connection for me to a New Zealand, because I made home my New Zealand, like, because when I got married, my wife also told, how about considering India? I was like, no, I've been here for 11 years. I want to stay in this country. Like, it's a beautiful country. Like, people are here are pretty amazing. Like, I have been like, long time. Plus the borders are closed. My wife is also so down right now, because she can't, even their parents can't come. We cannot go to meet our parents, like, from past 2 years, like, she's also getting so depressed. Sitting home, because she's been new in this country. And by the time she came in the country, she did nothing, just sitting at home, because it was all lockdown, like, all the time. So one thing is, why don't I, like, I feel now, I didn't had a long-term connection with this country, because I was thinking it's my country. That's why I was gone on a partnership visa, so I can upskill myself. I can get a better job. And my wife also did that. She's studying masters in business informatics, which we actually paid $30,000, like almost $25,000 as a salary, like, as a fees.
Student fee.
Student fees, like, and at the same time, when the immigration minister says that, student visa are just here for studies, first thing I want to say, student saved the education system over here. The people who were here, immigrants, saved it. Neither a lot of professors would have lost their job. Lot of currently universities are going under losses. Lot of colleges have been closed down. Because right now my wife is studying, there are, like, I just asked her how many students are there, or around about 30 students are there in her class. All are migrants who are doing their second time student. She's first time, but they all are doing second time. And I was like, 30 as not, because you are paying more than what the people from the citizens who pay over here. So you have actually saved the college. You have saved the professors' jobs. Not only in her college, I would say
everywhere. Absolutely. And before COVID hit, I think education was the fourth largest export in New Zealand, earning something like $5 billion a year. This is just before we went into lockdown. So it's a huge industry. Absolutely. So what job do you do at the moment?
So I'm working in a healthcare. So I'm actually a coordinator. So I help like support workers, so recruiting of support workers, coordinating them to go to the clients, helping the vulnerable clients. So I'm working for Healthcare New Zealand, which is one of the biggest here. So yeah, and my wife also is working over there.
Right.
So as an SMC, we actually calculated our points. It's coming around about 200 points. It's coming.
Wow. Yeah.
Because of master study, because she went to master's doing it, plus because it's a skilled job, she's also working in a skilled job, our points increased. But it's no use right now.
Yeah, because
no use.
We don't know when they will reopen. So the big review of the SMC that they've been saying for almost a year now that it's going to happen. We need it to happen fairly soon. So in your case, I see you definitely settled. 11 years is a long time. You're skilled. Like if you get more than 200 points, you're very skilled. Scarce as well, I would say. You're working in the healthcare sector, both of you. So if it's not on a scarce list, it should be. You tick all the boxes. Just because you're on a student visa or on an open partner-based visa, that should not be the reason for you to be excluded. Very, very unfair. Thank you very much for sharing that. Like all of you will be representing hundreds and thousands of other people in the same situation as yourself. So yes, it's important to share these stories. Thank you, Shah. If I may ask Mo Chen. Sorry if it feels like I'm putting you on the spot, but there's no specific order. It's just like whoever I see next on my screen. So Mo, please take it away.
Thank you very much. Firstly, I would like to appreciate what your effort and doing for us. I really thank you for Rachel and Anu and all of us with petition for other category visa holders, and we want there is no visa holders discriminations. And I come from China, right. And I have been to New Zealand in June 2019, right. And I already been there more than 821 days. Right. In China, I already got my two of my bachelor degree, and I have worked more than 13 years. I have more than 13 years working experience, and my past experience also in skilled listed. I was doing human resource, and the reason I come to New Zealand because I want to convert my career into finance, and I also love this beautiful country. So that's why I come to here, and I'm married in China. My husband still in China. When I apply my master degree, New Zealand give me a pathway visa because they convinced me I still need to do another graduate diploma before I do my master degree. Once I came to New Zealand, my university's my major convener, right. He told me. For my situation, I don't really need to read a graduate diploma again. But at that time, it was too late for me. I can't change it. I can't change it to another visa when already on board there and the new trimester starting. And that is the first time I lose my. I had treated by unfair, and because when New Zealand gave me pathway student visa, it means they give me only one visa. And if in New Zealand's policy, if I complete my graduate diploma degree, I should have 2-year open work visa. Right. Because this mistake, maybe I cannot apply my open work visa in 2020 and in 2020. And I have a neighbor in my community. I just living at my university, and my neighbor who have totally same situation with me. And after he complete his graduate diploma, he also need to do the master degree. And then at that time, he got his open work visa in maybe November 2019. And then it turned to me, apply my open work visa in June 2020, and the INZ advisor said I'm not eligible only because I'm a pathway student visa holder. And but on my whatever in my visa or on my visa or on my university offer, there is no any notice I can't work after I finish my graduate diploma.
Right. Okay.
This is the first time I have been treated by unfair.
Right.
And the second thing is I'm a full-time student, and I already been there more than 821 days. And since 2021, I already applied a research student research master visa. It means INZ entitled us unlimited work right. And currently I only left my dissertation. I'm full-time as a student and as a full-time worker now. And I work for environment data developer and consultancy company, and I'm doing some multidisciplinary research, and is combined by environment change and finance. For environment change is in scarcity list, but for finance is not in scarcity list. So I think there is one loophole for New Zealand scarcity list. How about the multidisciplinary researcher or worker? How do they define it? And I haven't met my husband in recent 821 days.
Jeez.
And I have full-time job now. I contribute tax to New Zealand. When COVID-19 happened, I have time to back to China, but I choose to stand up with New Zealand people. And I still have another two small section story I want to share. My friend Sabina, she is also a researcher master student, and she has Morgan Stanley's work experience in India, and currently she work for a big organization, and for full-time work, and she is also a full-time student as me. And her husband is in India, and her daughter is in India. Her daughter only 4 years old. She haven't looked her daughter
very sad.
in recent 2 years.
Yeah, it's very sad. Absolutely. I mean, this. There's another group that we work with.
I still have one more. I still have one more story.
Keep going.
Sorry.
This is okay. Take your time. I was just going to say that there's a group called Reunite Families NZ. So we do work with them as well from time to time. They've been fighting really hard to reunite families that are separated. So that's not just migrants, like New Zealand citizens or residents who are married to migrants from other countries. This affects people at many levels, not just people on temporary visas. So we're aware of how families suffer through this and remain separated.
And the other story is for for a couple of my friends, my friend Hongli and Rosie. They came to New Zealand around 2018, and they completed their bachelor degree here. And at that time, they have opportunity to get open work visa, but for their long-term goal, they want to read a master degree. That's why they lost their this resident resident 20 R21 policy now, and they also they also do a lot of part-time job and contribute tax for New Zealand. And I think for all of us, I petition for all of the visa holder people, but I want to emphasize all of our onshore people, because maybe before February 2020 or March 2020, we have opportunity to live here, but we choose to standing up with against COVID-19 with New Zealand people. Especially many of us come from developing country. We not come from developed country, and for here New Zealand consumer price is much higher than our homeland, and many of us still self-financing people and material student. We have to finance ourselves, and we pay we pay 4 times tuition fees and local people, and we treat here as our homeland. So I think our onshore people should get that opportunity and equal right to get the resident policy.
Sure.
Thank you.
For sure. Thank you very much, Mo. I hear and feel the pain there. Like, you've been apart from your husband, and all the contributions that all the students make are valuable. So that needs to be recognized. That needs to be recognized big time. So like we keep reiterating that we'll keep fighting. We're with you. We're together in this. So next, if I may request Deepthi Garg to share her story with us. Deepthi?
Sure. So hi everyone, and thank you so much, first of all, for giving me this opportunity. And thank you so much, Anu, Rachel, Erica, Ricardo, everyone who's supporting us in these hard times.
You're welcome.
So I basically came in New Zealand in 2017, January.
Right.
And it's been like 4 years, I would say 9 months now. And I came as a student here.
Okay.
Did my level 8, and then I got my post-study work visa for 3 years. I was doing a full-time job at a telecommunication company, but my company did not support me to get for the essentials because of this COVID-19 was hit, and they said that we cannot support you.
Yep.
So basically I had to go back on student visa, and I did my master's level 9.
Right.
Which I joined in 2021, January.
Okay.
And I completed my master's in August this year.
Yeah.
18th of August, I completed my master's.
But I was just waiting for my PCC because I had to submit my PCC with my application.
Yep.
And I received my PCC on 29th of September afternoon.
Gosh.
Yes, that's a tragedy for me. And I applied on 30th of September morning for my post study work visa. So I just missed by some few hours, I would say.
That
Exactly.
is tragic. That is tragic.
That is tragic. And in 2021, there was another tragedy because I lost both my in-laws back in India due to COVID.
Oh dear.
And because of this lockdown and everything, we could not even go for their last rites.
Mm-hmm.
That was really heartbreaking for whole my family. I'm here with my kids, my husband. I have a daughter and a son. My daughter is 17 years old. My son is 16 years old.
Right.
So due to this, all what was happening with us, and we lost this opportunity.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for us to come back from this, that on 30th of September, we got this news that it's a good news that
Yes.
2021 visa was announced, and I was getting a congratulations from all my friends that you are eligible for
Yes.
this.
Yeah.
And when I just saw this, and it was a date 29 September, we have to apply for post-study work visa. And I was like, oh God, what we did a blunder because we didn't apply for this.
Mm-hmm.
So
that was a heartbreaking story for me. I don't know how should we face this and how should
Yeah.
we go ahead for this, and yeah,
Yeah,
that's all I want to say.
I'm going to tell you something that might may make you feel worse, but a tip for the future for everybody. Like when you're waiting for your PCC, if you've applied and paid for it, you can just submit that as evidence and still lodge your application earlier rather than wait for the actual
Yeah,
PCC to arrive.
because we had
Yeah.
yeah, because we had our visa expiring on 10th of October.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, let's wait for
Yeah.
the PCC, and
Mm-hmm.
we were not aware of this, that this policy will come like this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was just a shocking news in the morning of 30th of September.
So just a tip for the future for all of you. Like if you know, there are ways around it. So some of the experienced advisors, they've kind of learnt this over the years. So you know, when we get someone who's only got like another week until their visa expires, and you know, they've only just applied for their PCC, so INZ usually accepts that, you know, okay, you've provided us evidence that you applied for your PCC, and they'll lodge your application just with that. But anyway, it's of no use now, I suppose. But so what we can do is carry on fighting for equality here and for justice. And thank you very much, Deepthi, for sharing that. And we need people like yourselves. You know, your children are here, that they would be feeling very settled at school, and they'll have friends here. So, you know.
Of course. And now my daughter will be going to uni next year. So it's like a hard time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, everybody who's here deserves to stay on here as permanent residents. That's what I feel. Thank you very much. So next up.
Anu, hi. Sorry, this is Archana here. Can I go next if you don't mind?
Yeah, sure, you can. I didn't have your name on there, so I was going to say the lady called iPhone. Yep. Go, Archana. Go. Yep.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Firstly, I want to thank Rachel and other admins. I know there are a lot of other admins who's doing a lot of hard work from the day one. And the day the petition came, I literally, one of my friends shared it to me, whose name is Aishwarya, and we are all in AAS college. And immediately I went on and shared it with several groups, and we tried getting on everybody to sign. You know, the first day was like, we couldn't even accept what just happened, you know?
Yeah,
it was like a bit of shock because we were just coming out of another shock. My husband had to be quarantined. So our story goes like this. And thank you, Ms. Anu. I know I've heard a lot about you. You're doing a lot of work towards migrants and their well-being here. So thank you so much for it.
Thank you.
To start with, so our story goes like this. We're a couple and we have a child, and my daughter is around 6-year-old. My husband came here long back, I think around 2016, if I'm not wrong. We were back home. We both had very well-established careers. I was working as an AVP in HP company, Hewlett Packard.
Okay.
And I was not willing to give up my career. I had struggled almost 14 years to get to an AVP level. And then I said, no, this is not the place. And my husband was like,
Can I ask you to tell everybody what AVP is? Because, sorry, I don't know what that is.
Assistant Vice President. It's Assistant Vice President.
Okay. Right. Thank you. Yeah.
Welcome. So we made a call to come here, and I had to come with my child. My daughter was just around 2 years when we came. So she absolutely remembers nothing about hometown. The sad part is she does not even know our mother tongue. It's not like we don't make an effort to teach her, but she is so New Zealander. That's what worries me the most. When all these things happened, my husband works at an MIQ. He came here as a student.
Right.
And then I moved here. We had our own difficulty to, get adjusted to things. Another shocking part was I came to New Zealand with about 14 years of experience, but everywhere where I went for an interview, nobody is willing to give you that kind of position.
Right.
You had to climb up the ladder from the lower step.
Yeah.
And they were looking for an NZ experience.
Yeah.
With all this struggle, we reached somewhere, and after his post-study visa, so I got a job as an office manager. and I applied for a visa, a work visa, but then they had new rules because of new COVID rules that we had to launch advertisement and seek and trade me. And if no residents or citizens are applying only, then you're eligible.
Yep.
And some issues happened there. And they did extend my visa for about 6 months due to COVID. We really thought, should we go back? And luckily, we actually reached right before COVID. Otherwise, I would have had to. We had gone home to visit my mom.
Okay.
We were just lucky to be on time. We reached, I guess, in sometime November, and around March we went on lockdown. Otherwise, I would have had to keep Akira totally away from her dad.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no other option but us to take the study. And I said,
Right.
Kiran, you could work and I will study because you've already studied here once. I could do that. And I started my master's. I signed up last year. We're almost finishing our course now.
Yeah.
And my husband is an MIQ worker and he's an essential worker.
Frontline
His
worker.
company and his company has sponsored work visa to everyone. Most of us, 95% of his colleagues.
Yeah.
And all of them are now eligible.
Yeah.
But he isn't.
Because he's on an open, open work visa holder.
He's on a partnership visa. He's on a partnership open work visa. And we had this chat just about 2 months. Should you want to go on your, the hotel MIQ visa? And then we thought we had this argument about, no, the New Zealand immigration. The moment I go on a separate visa, when we launch the application, they will come back to us and say, why? Is there any difference between you guys? Is there any relationship issues? You have to prove your relationship. And we took a back step and said, anyways, you're going to have a open work visa. It's all going to be fine. And it is so bad with us. And this whole year has been, I lost my father's brother. I lost my mom's sister. I lost my mother-in-law's sister, and I lost my brother-in-law, who was just 33-year-old and has a 2-year-old child.
Sorry to hear that.
We had like literally 5 deaths in our family. My father-in-law just got operated last 2 months back. My mother was bedridden for a week. She's obese and she has a kneecap issues.
Right.
We can't even go see them. Every time I call, there's only tears and I want to see you for one last time. You know how it is, how parents get.
Yes.
But we have been so scared. One of us will end up missing the child.
Yeah, you'll be separated because the border is closed. So, yeah.
Exactly. And she's too young and she doesn't understand that, when I say we are Indians and she's like, no, Mama, I love Auckland. This is my home. She's literally like, she thinks Auckland is her home. She hasn't seen anything when, from her very young age. Now she's about 6.5, almost 4+ years. And my husband had to be quarantined. He apparently very recently, right before this announcement. And we know that it's a high risky job, but end of the day, we literally thought there is some contribution that we make as a taxpayers, as citizens. If we were in India, we would have done it. So should we here. Yeah. And when he was quarantined, we both, more than his health or my health, we were like, we don't want to affect her. He was vaccinated. Yeah. Still, he was, positive and he had to be quarantined. And that was a terrible situation for us. And she only realized when the van came here to pick him up to the MIQ. Until then, she just thought it was a game. He's wearing masks. He's just staying away. He's going. That was a time like we were literally heartbroken. We started crying. We didn't know what's going to happen in the next 14 days. None of us know. We have really been doing everything right. Yeah. And I remember that the whole reason behind a 2021 visa was to support people and bring them as residents who supported the country during COVID period, right? So we have done everything right. We have been the taxpayers. We provided to the country economy by being a student. I remember Tasha mentioned how much she was paying for the fee. Yeah. Same with us. We paid around 37,000. Most of us, all of us students, taxpayers, and I have around 235 points just by myself without adding my spouse to the SMC points. we're skilled workers. We come with extensive experience, but we don't have any certainty. My point is, even today I saw an interview of Mr. Fafoy stating that we could apply for an SMC. Sure, we could. But
If it was open, if it was open, we all could. Yeah.
Exactly. And you have so many job openings. Who are going to serve for that?
Yeah.
There are so many managerial jobs in the facilities who does not have skilled workers to say. And we have been here throughout the COVID period. We have done everything possible. We have been a great citizens, vaccinated, taxpayers, contributing to, and education is, as you mentioned, fourth biggest economy after tourism, dairy, farming. Education is one of the biggest economy. We have literally helped few of these colleges save during this lower period of recession. And it feels like we haven't added any value at all this far.
Yeah, that is just so sad that, all of us who've worked so hard alongside our Kiwi counterparts, everyone's equal here. And yet we are excluded from this one-off visa. I mean, it's not as if this visa category will continue forever. It's just a one-off. So it makes sense to include everybody. And then, that also gives the minister a chance to review, do the big reset that, that needs to happen in immigration, start clean. So, definitely hear your pain. And you tick all the boxes, I would say, settled, scarce, skilled, or especially skilled. So, we will be on your side. We will keep fighting and we'll keep campaigning along with a lot of other groups and opposition MPs. So thank you very much. Thanks for sharing your story and let's hope we can get this turned around pretty fast. So next...
And again, thanks to you. Sorry, again, I just wanted to thank you, Rachel, and all the admins. You guys are putting a lot of effort and time. I know this is indeed a lot of time that goes into all the tasks that you do daily. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Next, I'm going to request Wen Xuan. I hope I'm saying your name right, Wen Xuan Zhang.
That's my name, Wenjun.
Wenjun, sorry. So before I move on, I just want to acknowledge, because recently what I've noticed is every time we do something, doesn't matter how small it is, some group of people or some visa category gets sort of offended when we don't actually mean any offense. So what I want to say is that we are still fighting for people who are stranded offshore. So soon we will do a similar session for all of the people who are offshore. They can come on this platform live and share their stories. So on to Wenjan, please share your situation with everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, Anu and Rachel, for organizing all of these sessions, activities, and the petitions. Thank you for speaking out for us. I submitted my SMC EOI in March this year, and I made over $27. I have a full-time job. I work as IT consultant. I still work at IT consultant, but I traveled back to China 3 months ago after I got a call from my mom that my dad was sent to ICU. And prior to that, last November, I lost my uncle and I didn't manage to go home because it all happened too fast. Heartbeat,
terrible.
The heart strike.
Yep.
But this time my dad was at ICU and I realized I still can't have time to meet him. So I decided to travel back, and I was told that I can apply to coming back to New Zealand based on the humanitarian reason.
Yep.
And I didn't actually even thought about the chance I can come back, because that was a sudden situation that every person has to go. If your dad is at ICU and you say, okay, I'm not going, that's many people made that choice. That's very difficult, but I chose to go home. And my boss was very kind. He still offered me the job to work remotely. So I'm still working remotely now. I went back home, and luckily my dad kept his life, and he's recovering at the rehab now. The strike, he's recovering. His half side of the body is not moving, but he's pretty optimistic, at least in general, and he's recovering not too bad. And I applied humanitarian reason to go back to New Zealand twice before 29th September, and they were rejected. And I talked to some other people who have applied. I talked to the immigration lawyer, and they told me the policy of the humanitarian reason is very strict. I heard that only even one employee, she's still working full time, and her grandpa is having surgery, and also her other family members quite ill in New Zealand. She applied for the humanitarian reason, but they didn't approve that to her. So apparently in my case, I don't have another sick member in New Zealand. That's why they don't approve it to me. Even if I have, they're gonna reject me anyway. On 29th September, I heard the news that they're gonna give everyone residency, and I was like, okay. I was in the EOI, I submitted my EOI in March, but I'm offshore. I realized it was kind of tricky. They probably wouldn't give it to me. And afterwards, they just say, okay, everyone offshore, you are ineligible because you're not in New Zealand on 29th September.
Yeah.
I'm lucky because I still have a job. I can go back to New Zealand one day. My visa, post-study work visa, isn't gonna expire until 2023. But there are lots of other people offshore. They lost their job during the COVID. They just made a trip back. They just made a trip back home, or they just visited a family member, but they end up lost their job, and some of their work visa are already expired. They are trying to asking the immigration office if they can extend their visa at least. If they miss the one off, they are ineligible because they're offshore and they don't have a job, but they haven't got any response yet. I said no. So I was told by even some of my friends that, okay, you made your choice to go back to China to your dad, and you missed the opportunity in New Zealand, but after all, it's your choice. That's true, it's a choice, but
it's just very cruel. People who say that is very, very cruel and inhumane. I mean, no one should have to make a choice between very, very sick family members and the right to stay in a country that they're working hard in. Sorry, Wenjuan. No one should have to make that kind of decision or choice. And before I introduced you, I didn't realize that we had communicated, and there's been so much contact that I forgot that you are stranded offshore. And then when you started talking, I said, okay, yeah, we have got a representative here to be a voice on behalf of all migrants who are stranded offshore. Doesn't matter which country they're in. You are representing them today here, and I will soon do a forum specifically for all of you who are stranded offshore. And this makes me feel really sick. You know, it churns my stomach when I hear stories like that people are having to choose between their loved ones and maintain their right to stay in a country that they've started calling home. You know, they keep telling us the world is becoming smaller and the whole world, you know, it's a global village. But that's not what we see, what New Zealand has done with lots of migrants. It doesn't feel like that. Look, and you carry on working while you're offshore. So you're still paying income tax to New Zealand. And at the same time,
I still pay tax to New Zealand. I have a full-time job and I make over 27, but I'm ineligible because you're not in this country on 29th. You are not contributing to this country on 29th. That's unacceptable. And one of our demands is that people who are offshore and eligible, you know, the least that this government can do is allow them to make that application for the 2021 new residence visa. Don't, you know, but we understand that the concern is that people could bring COVID in. Okay, don't allow them in, but let them apply for the residence. And you know, maybe they will be residents and then they can come back whenever they reopen the borders. You know, there's ways around this. If there's a political will, that they'll be able to fix this. Is there anything else you want to add before I move on to, I think, last three young men who've been waiting patiently? No, that's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So we've got Mapan, Arun, and Anthony who've been waiting very, very patiently. So does any of you want to go first, or it doesn't matter? I don't know. Shall we go with Mapan, since you've been waiting from the very beginning? You joined us quite early on. So Mapan, off you go.
Okay, thank you. Well, my name is Alberto. I don't know why it says Mapan, but it's my email.
Okay, sorry, what was your name again? Sorry?
Alberto.
Alberto. Okay, welcome, Alberto.
Thank you. I came in New Zealand in 2015 for the first time, and then I came back in 2016 with a working holiday visa. After a few months, I applied for a customer service management position in a tourism industry. So I got a visa for 3 years. But the COVID, basically all tourism is dead. Uh, there's no people coming from overseas. So basically, then the company where I was working for shut down in December 2020. We couldn't make it. So well, my visa was attached to that company. And after that, I decided to, well, my partner left New Zealand in 2000, December, I think December 2018, back to
Right.
France to see her family.
Right.
And since then, I haven't seen her. And when everything happened, I was about to apply for a level 8 postgraduate diploma and keep going with my life
Yep.
here, as I've been here for like continuously for 5 years. I've been back home only once.
Right.
Since then, I haven't seen any of my family, and probably I won't see them again because with COVID, some of them pass away.
Yep. It's very sad.
And yeah, it's pretty sad. And the problem that I have is that, as I can see, we have a lot of skilled people here. Everyone has probably is available to apply for a normal path to residency, but the time that immigration is taking to process the visas, it's crazy, like up to 18 months to decide if to have a yes or no. And it's like, so do you want me to stay for another 3 or 4 years to see if I can apply? And especially with people like teachers or restaurant management or tourism travel agencies, I think it's pretty much the engine of the country. Like people is coming here every year to spend holidays in New Zealand, and people who work in that field, we didn't have any chance. And most of them, like uh, those people who couldn't have not even an option to have an open work visa to be, if we kind of to get another skills or something like that, try to help the economy, because we have been supporting this country since we have 10 years, 11 years being here, like people who pay $37,000, and we are giving jobs to immigration advisors, to teachers, to restaurants, because everyone eat outside. Everyone is having fun outside because we pretty much love this country as it is. We pay taxes, we pay everything. We are, I think, part of this community. And just the fact, like some sectors of the industries, we couldn't have a chance to develop something else, because I have 10 years experience in tourism, and suddenly I couldn't apply for any other jobs because they don't take it. And sometimes you feel useless, because you say, like, I have all the skills and no one takes me. So I need to apply and spend, to improve my skills and get a level 8, a postgraduate, a master, or something like that. But just the fact that you are on the side, like you don't just come here, do whatever you have to do, pay taxes, and then you leave. And after a lot of years, I think it's not easy just to live this life, because you have been here making friends, because sometimes you came to New Zealand by yourself.
Yes.
And you leave everything behind.
Yeah.
And you met people, and that people is your new family.
Yep.
And still, with all the efforts, we have to learn. Many people speak more than 2 languages. And we are like, I think we are, before, in February 2018, I was about to apply for my residency, but COVID came and it was not able to do it. But at that point, I had 190 points to apply.
Wow. Right.
And then if I could get a job outside of Auckland, it could increase until 220.
So definitely skilled and settled.
Yeah, I think many of us we are pretty skilled.
Yeah.
We have masters, we have a PhD people, and it's just, I think most of people who lost the jobs during COVID, we were we apply for a student visa in any cases to still with our dreams.
Yeah, and also to upskill yourselves and then to
exactly
to be useful instead of just sitting around and doing nothing. And that's what most of us do, you know. Let's do something.
And it has been a year like we couldn't. I don't know if you guys, but when was the last time you sleep properly? Because every time before sleep is like tomorrow is another day of fight.
Yeah, exactly.
And or when you wake up and you said, "Oh my God, what's the news?" And I was watching the interviews earlier, and the minister couldn't answer the questions, and I was like, "It's not hard questions." So, my disappointment is more for all those people who lost the job because COVID.
Yeah.
And we couldn't have a chance to develop our skills in something else. Like we were just like, or you find a job in 1 week or you are out.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like, I think it's not fair.
Definitely unfair. And you mentioned the question time. I think it's today in Parliament. We all know the answers to those questions. It's not difficult. And I think the minister,
it's not rocket science.
The minister knows the answers as well. I think it's just the political strategy or the will that's stopping it. Which country are you from, Alberto?
I'm from Mexico.
Okay, Mexico.
Same as Ricardo.
Yes, same as we've got a real good supporter in there of migrant workers, and no, excellent. It's we are not just economic units. We are human beings. We are people. So while we all talk about how we contribute to the economy of this country and the skills we bring. I think the bigger thing here, that's important. I'm not saying that it's not, but I think the kind government, the compassion of Jacinda Ardern, how we saw after the Christchurch mosque attacks. So based on all of that, we are all human beings, and there's the right thing to do here, which is to include us all in this residence visa category. So while we do generate lots of revenue and all of that, it's not just about the economy and what we bring. It's also about we are all human beings, and we all bleed the same color at the end of the day.
And the funny thing is, like, if you search for any job, it's thousands of jobs.
Yes.
It's hard to get it, and then it was from 25.50 and now it's 27, and then it's coming the new like they're gonna make only one visa for sponsored people, and then certification of companies, and it just
it goes
it's kind of it's tired and
and
I think
and a lot of you who are on like partnership-based open work visas, which our fight over the years has been to stop exploitation of migrant workers, and so we've been campaigning for do not attach visas to employers. So right now, people who've got visas tied to employers are going to be part of this. They're going to be eligible. So it's that bittersweet moment. So when we heard the news, on one hand, we were really, really happy that lots of people are going to benefit from the work we've done over the years. And then at the same time, there are still so many people who are going to be left out. So it's very difficult for us to celebrate what we've been campaigning for until you're all included in this. So that very bittersweet moment. So thank you very much, Alberto, for sharing with everybody.
No, thank you to you guys.
Thank you. So we have now got, I think, Arun and Anthony. Who would like to go next? Anthony, do you want to go next? Or Arun, you can decide between yourselves.
Yeah,
yep,
I can
go. No problem. Yep.
So Arun? Okay, Arun, let's go with Arun.
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to share my story. So I would like to thank Rachel and Anu for that.
You're welcome.
So basically, I'm from India.
Okay.
Right now, I'm speaking from Christchurch.
Okay.
My story begins from July 2018. My wife came here for master's studying its level 9 course on Lincoln University. And she finished her master's by 2019, and she got the post-study work visa. And I'm on the open partner work visa.
Okay.
And by 2019 December last, we just went to India.
Mm-hmm.
And but when we reached India, we just got know that my wife got pregnant.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Continue. Yep.
Yeah. So my wife decided to spend some time with her parents, and I just came back to New Zealand by January last, and she thought that she will spend 1 more month, but by that time the lockdown came, and she stuck overseas in India. And what happened is that I came back to New Zealand. I'm working in healthcare.
Okay.
I'm working in a disability sector as support worker.
Okay.
So I have been in New Zealand more than 3 years,
Right.
and I'm getting more than 27 pay.
Right.
And also, my job is in the scarce list.
Right.
The only problem is that I'm in open partnership work visa, and my wife having post-study work visa, but she's in offshore.
Right. So she can't apply.
And the sad thing is that my wa- my yeah, the sad thing is that my wife, we got a baby, and he's born on 2000 July, and I haven't
You've
seen
never
my
met your
son
baby.
1 year. No, it's 1 year 6 months right now, and I see the only reason me and my wife choose this country is that this country supports the partners, the family thing. So that's why myself and my wife choose this country to come for studies and explore. And I see so many, as you said, on last year, I think 2 years before, the Christchurch incident happened at most. I think one of my friend also we lost in that attack.
So sorry
So
to
at
hear
that
that.
time, at that time we saw the concerns of the Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern to the people who suffered. So I'm still, we are expecting that concerns from Jacinda Ardern, that the families who are apart, so they should consider the families apart and just give consideration for the applicants, the partners can to become the main applicant in this opportunity, because only because they are just the secondary applicant, they can't apply, because the partners holding the open work rights and they are working in the scarce list job, but they can't be the main applicant. That's the only reason they are excluded. So they can consider that, because so that's my concern regarding the same. And the sad part is I didn't see my son till 1 year 6 months. Yeah. So thank you for.
So you've never seen your son?
Yeah, I just see him only through WhatsApp.
Yeah, that's not the same. Like, okay, this is just, I have 2 children, grown up now, but, there's a bond even before a child is born. Both mum and dad are together all throughout the pregnancy. So that's a very, very valuable, important time. And then the actual birth. These days, mostly dads are present when the mum gives birth. So you've missed that. And then
the main thing is that there is no certainty is given by this government. I'm okay if we are excluded. Okay, it's sometimes our faith, but just give other opportunity like the skilled migrant category. But they are not telling that when it's going to open. And actually, I meet like 180 points. So I can, if the current SMC open, I can apply through that. But the thing is that they're not telling when it's going to be open, when it will be going to process. So till that time, we have to be in New Zealand.
I am still trying to compute the fact that your child is more than 1 year old, and you have not, you've never held your baby, you've never cuddled, kissed, caressed your child. That is just the most cruel it can ever get. I'm just trying to digest that information. So yes, I think, okay, All right. So when they say for exception to travel, the humanitarian circumstances, the threshold is really high. I don't understand. So have you guys tried for that exception to travel for your wife and your son to come back to New Zealand?
No, it's
Yeah.
we just started to try,
Yeah,
but at
you
that
should.
time this residency
Yeah.
residency thing, one
Yeah.
of residency,
Yeah.
announcement, and
Yeah.
we are just planning for that, for
Mm-hmm.
coming back to New Zealand
Yeah,
with my
should.
child.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
this country is signatory to United Nations Charter of Rights of a Child. So based on that,
Yep.
They should allow your wife and your young son to come back. Please push for that. So that's another issue. And then, there's so many ways around including all of you in this new residence visa. For example, because your wife is eligible, and just because she wasn't here, like I said before to another one of our guest speakers today, they can allow offshore people to apply as well. Just, if it means that, COVID is a risk, don't allow them to come back yet. If that's a concern, just allow them to come back whenever it's safe to do so, but allow them to apply for the residency. It's an online application that people should be able to apply from wherever they are, as long as they're eligible.
And also one concern in my mind is that why they are not allowing the partnership work visa holders to be the primary applicant.
It should.
Yeah, they announce so many work visas category, but for the just allow that work visa holders partners to be the primary applicant.
Yeah.
And if they meet all the criteria, why can't they apply?
Exactly. And one way to include most of the people in this could have been just like people who've been here 3 years or more. That would have, doesn't matter what visa they're on. Even that would have included most of us.
Actually, they need to include all type of visa categories, because they all contributed to this country in this pandemic, and they all separated from their families, most of them.
Most of people.
So they have to consider that. Yep.
Thank you very much, Arun. Thank you very much. Each and every one of you has a really gut-wrenching, heart-touching story in a different kind of way. So I really, being a mother myself, I really feel for you. I really feel for you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. So last but not least, I think we've got Anthony. Sorry, Anthony, you've had to wait right until the end.
No, that's okay. That's okay.
All right. So welcome to this live stream, and let's hear from your story.
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone, to be here and be unite to get something which we missed out. Thank you, Anna and Rachel, for organizing this meeting.
You're welcome.
And, my story was I came to New Zealand in 2014 March on a student visa. I studied 2 years, and then I got my open visa. Then I got employer assisted visa, which is true. I have to say that because we know how it's this announcement will impact on that exploitation as well, because I got a job, and then before my open work visa finished, my employer asked me to put me in employer assisted visa, and then he locked me in there, and then from there he just negotiating with me. He cannot able to continue to process my application with the residence or whatever it's next to that. And then he negotiations means I know all you understand, but I'm trying to say that the negotiation, he said he not able to pay me, or he not able to run that business, so I need to support him financially. It's kind of exploitation. So, but as my position, I have to leave the job, and then I have to inform to immigration to get the job. But the immigration, it's not that looks good to the people like me that time to talk to them that I lost my job. My employer asking for this kind of money, to the things to happen. And then I struggled almost 6 months from that, and I left job, and then I was 6 months without job, without salary. I was hunting a job. And finally, I got the job. Luckily, I came back to Auckland and I got a job in good company. And then I worked for 2.5 years.
Right.
Yeah, it's during that time, there was a nice, everything is going fine. But when the lockdown started, the employer, like, he was helping lot to me, like throughout the whole lockdown time. What happened? The government announced, I don't know what they mean to say, like why they opened a program called apprenticeship to upskill the employers.
Yep.
I mean employees. So everyone is upskilling. So my point of view, I didn't get my apprenticeship for free, but I paid. I come back to study to upskill myself, which is like give me more chance to apply for SMC in future.
Yep.
But now they're saying like that I didn't contribute. I don't have a long-term connection to the New Zealand since 2014. Now I have a connection to the. Now I don't have a connection to the New Zealand long-term. And then after next year, I will go back onto the work visa, and then I will get back the connection. I don't know how it's gonna work there. So many of the people saying like that.
Yeah, it's quite it's laughable, really laughable. Yeah, while it's a serious matter, but yeah, there's no logic. That's what we're saying. Yeah.
So even I watched the parliamentary speak today with Minister Chris Farfoy. He doesn't want to say that policy is made just for. So the policy means it's a one-off residency visa. He just thinking it's just a lottery. He's just saying who is not eligible, they can't apply because this is one-off residency visa. It means this is a lottery, so they can't apply.
Yeah, and exactly where. So if it's one-off, then that's what it needs to be. One-off, include everybody as a one-off, and then move on.
Complete the one-off. It's not half.
Yeah.
And in my overall perspective and outside of New Zealand, it's like portrayed the New Zealand country. Everyone is start asking, have you discussed anyone before you go to New Zealand about the country?
Right.
So these are questions behind big things they're having in their mind. I'm here for 8 years. This how my journey was going through. So all of my friends and families in Europe and other countries, what their mind and thinking, like what they are saying. So the question is very meaningful. Have you discussed with anyone before you the country? It's like, so okay. Anyway, it's a long-term problem with the New Zealand gonna have to face. I think I don't know about, but I don't like that New Zealand put in the country going to that things because it's a good country. Doesn't want to spoil the names in the international firms. So they need to give a chance to all migrants because it's just a migrant country. That's how we portrayed outside. This is migrant welcoming country.
I'm sure. The government has good reputation since the Christchurch attack, and then how they've dealt with COVID. You know, we are probably one of the most COVID-free countries in the world. So there's brand New Zealand, you know, the reputation is pretty high internationally. So if mistreating migrants has already started damaging that reputation. Like a lot of people have gone to Canada. And you mentioned, you know, people are asking you, did you check with anyone before you decided to go to New Zealand? Actually, it was quite commonplace on Immigration New Zealand website and Education New Zealand website, where it clearly used to say until about 3-4 years ago, education can be a pathway to residence. You know, the government themselves promoted that. So when somebody comes here as a student, that's what, you know, the government is telling them. You know, you come here, study here, you can be a resident here eventually if you follow all the pathways and the rules. So people aren't making this up. So, you know, that's how New Zealand has been sold to people for international education. So, yeah. Is there anything else you would like to add, Anthony?
Yeah, that's but I'm doing bachelor now. Got a lot of opportunities, job opportunities to work But the thing is, I cannot able to work now because I mean I'm working full time, but on a student visa because it's a lockdown. I'm working in a retail, but that's how it's like everyone is trying to contribute. We don't see where we born, which country we are from. It's country we live. We need to keep the country good and wealthy and good looks. But I hope the government wants to understand that reality, and the policy needs to be the good policy, not just a policy.
Yeah, include everybody, you know.
Including everyone. So that's not like we are not asking like. And one more very important point I have.
Yep.
Every time they make a changes on the immigration policy, I don't know why they changing the policy which is impact to the people already on New Zealand, because they promise something else before we come, and then when we come in New Zealand, they change the policy, which we shouldn't include the people who are already in New Zealand. But if anyone coming before the like after the announcement, they know this is going to happen, so they prepare for it, or they will choose something else.
Yeah.
So once we come, it's like putting the trap for the people. Just come and then we lock you in.
Yeah, exactly. You're absolutely right, and that's been the problem with the SMC residence category. The points increase, and then the pay rate is increased. So that goalpost keeps moving, always out of reach of people who've nearly eligible, and then suddenly they're not, and then that they keep repeating that. So that's been the problem. Keeping people temporary for such a long time, it's just inhumane and very, very cruel. We fully understand that, and in the submissions that we have made in the past for immigration policy changes, we've always said this, like in the last 5-6 years, unions and ourselves, we've made several submissions. Every time we've been saying, just give permanent residence to everybody who's already here, and then don't bring more migrants in. Since we have not been really that good at looking after the migrants, don't bring more people in if you can't look after them well. But the ones who are here, let's take good care of people who are already here. Yeah. So, thank you very much, Anthony.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Anu, sorry for that. If you allow me, I have to just quickly say one thing.
Sure. Yeah.
I just want to say, like, definitely we all put a lot of years and everything and our money in this country. Even we cannot think about to go back and restart our lives again,
Exactly.
because we used all of the savings, we used everything we used to put in this country,
Yeah.
So I just want to say, like, if they don't want to include, it's their choice, right? We can just try to push them, but again, it's their choice or their decision. But at least they can open the SMC category and tell us the rules, like what will be the rules, So at least it's a certainty for us. If they don't want to include, it's their decision. But at least open the SMC category, so at least who is eligible, they can apply for that.
Yeah. So in today's Parliament question time, you heard that I think they want to process all the applications with this new residence category first. I think that's what the minister said, and then they will have the SMC category or other residency categories ready. So that's prolonging the pain and agony of people who are not going to be eligible for this new residency. So that is unacceptable. I think the better way to deal with this is to include everybody in this, and then it gives the government good space and enough time to sort out what they're going to do with the SMC. It gives them lots of time to deal with it. So that's what we believe is the absolute solution for this. Listen, we're going to wrap up now. Time is moving along. So thank you very much, each and every one of you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for being brave enough, for sharing your personal circumstances, sharing your stories, and pouring out the pain and the emotion. It is very, very important that we are heard. We are out there and everybody is listening, because this is not just about numbers. This is about human lives and people and families and young children who are the future of this country, basically. So thank you very much. Everybody stay strong, stay safe, and we will keep doing whatever we can within the restrictions of these lockdowns. So, keep reaching out to us with your ideas, with your suggestions, and also I guess, sharing the pain. Sometimes we may not respond straight away, or we may come across as we are angry or had enough. And that is the case sometimes, that we are quite overloaded. But we will keep trying, and we'll try our best to deal with the situations and be pillars of strength for each other, I guess. So that's what I'm saying. So thank you very much, and we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.
Thank you, bye.
Thank you, Anu. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anu. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, Rachel.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. So, and thank you to all the viewers and listeners as well who have been very patiently listening to everybody. And we will be back definitely next Wednesday with more migrant issues and more suggestions, solutions. In the meantime, there may be more sessions like this one, because obviously everybody who's been excluded is hurting really badly, and with the lockdown restrictions, people can't actually hold peaceful assemblies in the way of protests, marches or rallies. So that kind of is part of the problem too, that those events are a means to relieve lots of frustration and anger, and also come together with a group of people who are suffering through the same issues and through the same systems. So that's why we felt maybe we'll try something like this and be able to help. So we will continue with these sessions, with these forums. So yeah, look after yourselves. Take care. Good night.